guys first sort of a rundown of some of the best ways to, the biggest principles for your PPC ad. We talk a lot in Just One Dime about having your top 5 to 7 keywords, also known as your power keywords. The reason we talk about this is usually in your listing, in the actual copy, you're going to have 5 to 7 keywords that are the most important. And those are going to be in your title, and your bullet points, and your product description. You're also going to have keywords on the back end as well, and I'll explain that too. But you don't have very much room to put in more than 5 to 7 keywords between the title and the bullet points. And those are the 2 most important place for your keywords. So that's why we talk about the 5 to 7. When you actually research your product, however, you're going to end up with something closer to 15 to 30 keywords. So you still have your top 5 to 7, but you're going to need around 15 to 30 that really, really encapsulate that listing, that niche. And these are the words that you're going to put into your PPC ad campaign, usually 15 to 30. It includes the 5 to 7 keywords, but it's not the only ones. So first of all, let me give you 4 things. To find the best keywords, I recommend you start with Merchant Words, merchantwords.com. That is not a part of Just One Dime. We're not affiliated with them, but we really like their tool. Not so much for accuracy and volume. I think they're a little bit over exaggerated, but more for ideas. So when you use Merchant Words, you're going to get a ton of ideas on, man, I never thought of, calling the product that. That's a great idea. Oh, I didn't think about that keyword. And the way you do it is you just, if your product, this is the first business I ever started. Check that out. It was, I was a magician and a professional tap dancer. So if you were trying to do a business card holder and you type in business card holder for Merchant Words to hold your cool business cards, you're going to get a bunch of different ideas, things that you may not have thought, like business card display, business card Rolodex, things like that. The second thing you're going to do is you're going to use the JOD toolbox. We have what's called a keyword tool autocomplete. And guys, you can get this for free. I'm not selling you something. Go to toolbox.justonedime.com. It's basically where if you type in business card holder, it's going to show you all the other words that people searched on Amazon related to that. So for example, if you started with business card and you hit search, it'll show you all the words that people search on Amazon, such as business card holder, business card platform, business card stand, business card display. You see? These are actual searches people are doing on Amazon. And that's the big difference between Merchant Words and JOD Toolbox Autocomplete. The Merchant Words is not actually giving you word search from Amazon. No one can do this. I know there's a lot of great tools out there. This isn't a criticism of JOD Toolbox, of Merchant Words, of Keyword Tool Dominator, of Helium 10, of Marketplace Intelligence. They give helpful info. But Amazon doesn't release the actual volume of the keyword. So if it says here's the volume, that's actually coming from Google and Bing and DuckDuckGo and other keyword search engines. Okay, so just keep that in mind. All right. So again, going back, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to search them on Merchant Words to get ideas. Then you're going to go to JOD Toolbox Autocomplete, type it in. It's going to give you a whole bunch of different searches. People are actually searching on Amazon. This is very important. And on our team, I teach you a secret tool where you can use asterisk to include hidden words that you wouldn't know otherwise. It's really awesome. Then after you do that, now you have a list of a lot of words, and trust me, it's a lot more than 15 or 30. You're going to type in your power keywords I told you about, the main ones, the most important, the most relevant, long tail, unique. Like if this is a business card holder we're talking about, then business card holder is probably going to be one of those keywords. If it's a glass one, it's going to be glass business card holder. That's very long tail, very specific, one of your power keywords. How do you know it's a power keyword? Well, several reasons. One, if someone types it in, your product is exactly what they are looking for. It identifies it precisely. Okay, that's one way to know. The other way is it generating a lot of revenue? Well, how do I know that? Well, in this situation, I like to use my favorite product research tool, AmazeOwl. And by the way, guys, get a free version. It's awesome. You go in there and you type in each main power keyword in AmazeOwl, and it's going to pull up and tell you what the approximate sales per day are for those various listings. And it's also going to give you ranking as well. So now I can see all the top competitors for glass business card holder. You with me? Now that I see all those keywords, all those competitors, I go to each of their listings and I'm only looking at the top competitors, people selling a lot. I'm going to go to the listing, I'm going to go to the title, and I'm going to look at the main keywords in the title. I'm going to grab those. So now I have 3 places I have found keywords: Merchant Words for Ideas, Job Toolbox Autocomplete for what people are searching in Amazon, and the top competitors. I know these keywords are ranking and making money, okay? I went from very broad to very precise. Now I have a huge army of keywords. Now I'm gonna take the top 15 to 30 of these, and remember guys, go for ones that are relevant, and I'm going to test them on Amazon.com. And the way I'm going to test them is I'm going to go to Amazon.com and I'm going to take, okay, let's use one example, glass business card display, and I'm going to search for it. And if on the first page of search results, at least 80% of those results are exactly the same kind of product I'm selling, then I know it's super relevant. That's how I know a keyword is very, very relevant. Again, I'm gonna I got from Merchant Words, I went to I did Job Toolbox Autocomplete. I also found the titles of the top competitors through Amazon. Now I have this whole army of words, and I'm gonna search each one on Amazon.com. And if on that first page of search results, 80% or more of those products are super, identical to the kind of product I'm selling, then I know it's super relevant. I know that's a very highly relevant keyword. I need that keyword in my PPC ad campaign. So that's the 4 steps you're going to start with. Now, here's something you need to know. The longer the keyword, the broader the match. The shorter the keyword, the more exact match. In other words, the long tail keywords, people are going to tend to do misspells, or they're going to get it wrong. The more words they type, the more they're going to mess up. You do not want to put your long tail keywords at exact match. You want to put them as broad. That might sound counterintuitive, and this is why you don't want to just be analytical about PPC ads. You want to be strategical. You want to be strategic. Let me put it this way. If I type in glass business card holder, what are the chances that I misspell it wrong or add a space or do something wrong? Very high, because there were a lot of words. But if I put that in my PPC ad campaign as a broad keyword, it'll cover the misspells. But someone's going to say, oh no, but that's a really targeted keyword. You don't want to put it as broad because it'll change it up, and then you're spending money on keywords that aren't optimized or that aren't super relevant to your listing. Not true, and here's why. When it's that broad, it's really hard to get variations off that. Like if you have glass business card holder, and you switch 2 of the words or add a small word in, it's still the same product. It's very rare that by adding in a few words, which broad does, right? Broad match, or changing the order is actually going to change the meaning of the word. So if you have a broad keyword, that's for your very long tail keywords. Now let's turn the table around, look at the other side. Well, Seth, what about the short tail keywords like card holder? How about that? Card holder. That needs to be exact match. Why? Because if it's not, and I put it in broad, the chances of me now running an ad campaign for words that are not relevant are super high, and I'm wasting money. So if I just put in card holder, they might put in 18 by 20 card holder or poster card holder. Well, that's not what I'm selling. I'm selling a business card holder. So if it's very short tail keyword, it must be exact match. I don't want variations of that, or I'm going to waste money. This is a very, very important strategy, and it's counterintuitive. And a lot of people do the exact opposite because it feels the same way, but it's not. So again, if you have a long tail keyword and you know it's super relevant, you need to make that broad match. If you have a short tail keyword and it's super relevant, you need to make it exact match, okay? Now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to break my keywords into 2 categories. Some are going to be broad match and some are going to be exact match. So when I run my manual ad campaign, I'm running both from day 1. So I got a manual ad campaign going over here, and I have my automatic ad campaign going over here. Both are running at the same time. The purpose of the automatic ad campaign, and someone in our team just shared this the other day, and it's so right, is not really to make you money. It's your hunter. It's to find more keywords. The purpose of your broad and your exact match manual ad campaign is to make you money. Okay? It's very important you understand the distinction between the two. The automatic campaign is to find more keywords. Why? How? What does it do? Well, it's automatic. It's just going to look at your listing, your title, your bullet points, and it's going to find those and other similar words that people might be searching in Amazon. And it's going to give you data. And as you collect that data, you're going to use it to update and upgrade your listing so it's optimized. Now, let me give you a little rundown on what to do each day. Day one, you start your ad campaign. You have your 15 to 30 best keywords. You get your 5 to 7 power keywords, but you have all your best ones, okay? You're going to take these keywords and you're going to divide them into groups. 3 groups. Your super relevant, your medium relevant, and your least relevant. Your super relevant, you're going to put into your manual campaign. And again, you're going to have exact match for short tail keywords, broad match for long tail keywords. You're also going to run an auto and manual broad of keywords campaign. So remember, you're running both side by side. And you're going to make your daily budget high. You're probably going to start at $10 if you're really limited on money per day. I would say $75 a day, at least for the first 10 days, just to get data. Now, I know that might seem crazy, Seth, $75 a day in 10 days. That means I will spend up to $750. I know. But here's what's going to happen. It's going to get your listing on the first page of search results, which means people can see it right away and you start getting sales now. Now, those sales aren't going to be profitable yet. Your ACOS is going to look like it went on drugs. It's going to be out to sea. It's going to be 200%, 120%, 80%. It's not going to be making you money yet. But you have to spend money to get it up there. And once people can see it and they type in the keyword and they see your listing and they start buying and buying and buying, and you keep optimizing your listing so the conversion rate goes up and the desirability goes up and more people, out of 100 people, more and more people buy it, what happens is now your product starts to rank organically. What I mean is, first they bought it because you paid money to get it on that page. But when they start clicking on those ads and buying, it's now Amazon's going to see, oh, they searched this keyword and there was a purchase. You rank higher. Oh, they see this other word and there was a purchase. You rank higher. And over time, you start ranking really high, usually for 2 to 5 of your keywords. And sometimes it'll surprise you. It will be ones you didn't expect. And bit by bit by bit, you start to get organic sales. If you paid close attention to your listing, if you optimized it the whole way along, you're going to start making money at some point much sooner. So you don't have to wait forever to start making money. You're not going to throw 1,000 keywords in there and just run everything and waste money. You're already being precise from the very, very beginning. This is how you run a PPC ad campaign effectively. On your keywords, you're going to bid between 50 cents up to a full $1 higher than the current highest bid. I don't recommend going with Amazon's suggested bid, because that's going to be the lowest you need to bid for in order to get it ranking at all. And I don't recommend you go with the highest. I recommend you go with higher, 50 cents to $1 higher than the highest bids. What does that mean? Because you're willing to spend more money, Amazon will put your listing on the top of the first page of search results. If you're being too stingy with your bidding and you show up on the bottom of the page of search results, guess what's going to happen? You're going to get fewer clicks, which means you're going to get fewer sales, which means you're just prolonging the process before you start making money. So you need to do what it takes to get your listing at the top of the first page of search results. And the way to do that is bid high enough. A lot of people ask this question, they'll say, I'm wondering why my listing is not getting a better click-through rate. And they think it's because of one of two things. The photo, they think it's the photo problem. Or number two, they think it's a price problem. Now, what's interesting is those are two huge factors, okay? But there's another factor that's going to impact that even more. How much money are you spending on your listing? Because if you're not bidding high enough and you don't show up at the top, of course, if it's showing up at the bottom of the first page or even the second page, you're not going to get very many clicks. And if you only have a handful of clicks, you don't have enough data to know how well is my listing converting. You really don't know how to optimize it. You need so many people clicking on it. You're like, I got a ton of data. Okay, this is enough of a sample to accurately update my listing so it is badass. Let me know if this makes sense. I hope it's helpful to you guys. So again, you're going to start with the automatic campaign. You're going to start with the broad and the exact match campaign. Your broad match is going to be your long tail keyword. Your exact match is going to be short tail keyword. You with me? You're gonna bid 50 cents to $1 higher than any of the other listings. You're gonna have a budget of $10 to $75 a day on your listings just to get data at the beginning, but also to start getting sales right away. Now, 10 days later, you're gonna go in there and you're gonna download your ad report and you're gonna look at each ad word, each keyword, and you're gonna ask, is this keyword making me money? Now, listen, if the keyword is not relevant, make it negative exact match in your automatic ad campaign. You don't wanna spend money on an irrelevant keyword. If it's highly relevant but not making you money, you need to drop how much you're bidding on it. You do not want to make it negative exact, because if you do, it'll cause your whole listing, other keywords, to rank lower. They're all connected, okay? Keywords aren't treated independently by Amazon, they're connected. So if there's a super relevant keyword, like let's say you just say, okay, I have a glass business card holder right here. This is my, this holder right here. This is my glass business card holder. And I really, really need this to rank. That's my best keyword. And you find that keyword is not making you money and you've been running it for 10 days. Don't make it negative, because that's your most important keyword. Just drop the bid a little bit so it doesn't bleed you too much, but you still need to be doing some ranking for that keyword. Otherwise, it's gonna hurt all your other keywords. I hope that makes sense, you guys. So you're gonna download that report. And here's a question people ask. How do I know the best performing keywords? It's simple. It's the words that are making you money. So if the word is super relevant, costing you a ton of money, you're gonna keep bidding, okay? You're not gonna stop bidding. Because here's a question to ask. If it ranked organically, would people buy it? Well, of course they would, if it's relevant and your listing's optimized. So for a while, you don't even make money yet, but you're making sales, but you're not making profit. So you're gonna keep bidding until finally, oh my goodness, it starts to rank organically on the first page of search results. Then you can really bring your bids down, because now the organic ranking is taking over the paid ranking. You're gonna move all of your super high ACoS, you know what that means? Advertising cost of sale, irrelevant keywords into negative exact match. In other words, the ones that are costing you money and they're not relevant, but the ones that are relevant, you just lower your bid, but you keep bidding. And then you're gonna move your low ACoS broad match keywords into manual phrase ad match. So basically what you're gonna do is you're gonna move your keywords around based on how they're performing. All right, I hope this has been helpful. If there are two keywords in my ad as phrase and broad, for example, ceramic coffee mug pair, which one will the system take as I see clicks for both broad and phrase? I am confused, please help. No problem, AJ, really happy to help you with this. This is a fun question actually, because it's about strategy. So let me explain so everyone understands what's going on. He has the word ceramic coffee mug pair, and he has it twice. He has it entered as broad, and he has it entered as phrase. Okay, first of all, I would never do that. And the reason why is it's like you're using the same term twice and you're gonna end up spending more money than you need to. The broad is gonna pull up things like, if I search, okay, let's just talk about the broad for a minute. If I search this, ceramic coffee, your listing could show up. If I search ceramic teacup, your listing could show up. If I search ceramic plate, your listing could show up. Do you, AJ, okay, want me clicking on your listing if it says ceramic plate? No way, right? But the longer tail it is, the less likely that is to happen. So it'll be like ceramic coffee mug, ceramic coffee pair, mug pair ceramic, ceramic coffee, coffee ceramic. All the different versions can come up with the broad match. I use broad match to find out which keywords are converting really, really well. Then later you can enter those as exact match. Phrase match is if you have more confidence in what that long tail keyword needs to be, so you don't want it changed too much. It's a different strategy. So I never do both. Broad means I'm looking for more variations to come up as people search, and I want to find out which ones convert. Then I can grab that word and enter it into my campaign. Phrase means I already have a better idea of what the keyword needs to be, so I don't want to be quite as liberal, I want to be more conservative, but I still want to see that word change around, because if it's phrase match, here's what can happen. The words will never switch in order, but words can be added on the beginning and on the end, And then connector words can go in there like and, or, but, or, for, nor, all those. For example, it could ceramic and coffee mug pair, or ceramic coffee and mug pair. That could come up for a phrase match. Or green ceramic coffee mug pair. You can add words at the beginning and on the end. But the order of the words will never change on a phrase match. So it goes back to your strategy. If you're with Just One Dime, we recorded videos on new campaign strategy. You're gonna see them like within the next 2 weeks. It'll show you step by step exactly how to do this, where you drop all your long tail keywords in as broad match, and then your short tail keywords as exact match, and there's a different strategy for phrase match, and we explain that in the Just One Dime training, step by step. I know it's a lot to learn, but I hope that's super helpful to you. My short tail keyword is very competitive, and Lapranila, this is very common. However, my 7 long tail keywords are great. Okay, awesome. I'm thinking I'll be able to rank on page 1 for the short tail keyword after some time with sales and some reviews. What I would recommend you do, Lapranila, is take all of your long tail keywords and make sure that they are either in the title, and usually in your, guys, do you know what keyword hinging is? Do you guys know what keyword hinging is? This is really important. It's where, let me give you an example. Black, selfie, give me a second. Black, plastic, hinged, selfie, stick. Okay, black, plastic, hinged, selfie, stick. That's a very long tail keyword, right? Now, I was able to get several keywords into one keyword. I could say black, plastic, hinged, selfie, stick. That's one keyword. I could also say selfie stick, that's another keyword. I could also say hinged selfie stick, that's another keyword. I could also say plastic hinged selfie stick, that's another. I have 4 to 5 keywords in one word. Did you see what I just did? I put them in an order, so if you read just the last one, or the last 2, or the last 3, or all of them, each of them is a coherent keyword that someone would naturally search on Amazon. Does that make sense, you guys? Is that helpful, Lapranila? So take that keyword, make sure your title is hinged, okay? Your most important relevant keywords are gonna be in the title, second in the bullet points, third in the product description, and the least relevant would be in the back end. And make sure they're matching your PPC ad campaign. I would not spend a lot of money on your short tail. When you do your short tail, make those exact match, okay? And your long tail broad match. Again, your short tail exact match, your long tail broad match. Why is that? Doesn't that seem counterintuitive? Because if your long tail is broad match, it means you're gonna cover every other possible variation of that word and spend less money, because broad match is less expensive than exact match. Does that make sense? So for example, if my keyword is black, plastic, hinged, selfie stick, and someone comes along and spells it as hinged black plastic selfie stick, if it's broad, it's gonna pick it up. See? And the reason you want your short tail keyword in the exact match is if you change it up too much, it becomes something completely altogether different. Let me give you an example. Let's just say it's coffee. That's very short tail. If I have coffee in broad match, it could also pop up with coffee cloths, coffee coasters. What if I'm not selling coffee coasters? I don't want to spend money on that. So by having an exact match, it will only rank for the word coffee or coffee coasters if that's what I'm trying to sell. What do you think is the most important thing to know about PPC? Give me a minute to think about this. This is such a great question, Cats for All. What is the most important thing? Let me start by answering what is the first most important thing. The first most important thing is making sure you build your listing in a way that allows it to work with PPC. In other words, your listing, there are 6 tests that your listing must go through, and I'll just share a few of them. One of them is keyword relevance. Another one is keyword demand. Another one is an amazing first featured photo. Another one is keywords in the title and bullet points and product description correctly spread out. So how you build your listing, your PPC ad campaign, it will only be as effective as how effectively you build your PPC. If you don't build your listing well, then your ad campaign will fail. So that's the first thing. Second part to that, what do you think is the most important thing to know about PPC? You need to understand what are your power keywords. In other words, usually you guys, you're gonna make 80% of your money off of 2 to 3 keywords. Just 2 to 3 keywords on your Amazon listing will make you 80% of your money. And those keywords are super relevant to your listing. They may not be the highest in demand, but they'll definitely be the most relevant. Sometimes the most relevant and also highest in demand actually cost you too much. In other words, every time you sell your listing, your product for 35 bucks, you spend 40. Because people had to click on it before they buy it, and those clicks were so expensive. That's why they call it pay per click, PPC. You pay every time the shopper clicks on the ad. It was too expensive. So you actually had to bring that bid down and put more money into a different one. So yeah, first your listing. That's the number one most important thing. You have to have your listing built correctly. And then secondly, what are your power keywords? Your power keywords are usually between 5 and 7 most important keywords to your listing, but 1, 2 to 3 of those will make you 80% of your money. You must know those keywords. And the way you find them, I give you guys a full training on this in Just One Dime on how to find them. But as you build your PPC, then you begin to find new ones or realize, wait, there's better ones out there that I didn't even think about earlier. Really good question, Cats for All. Guys, I'm gonna tell you this, PPC is one of the hardest parts of succeeding on Amazon, understanding it. People get confused about it. And the more Danilo and I put together this training, like we're beyond 80 pages now in one slideshow, just training for this. The more we're realizing, like, this is massive. This is not just like a part of selling. It is everything from A to Z, beginning to end. You have to build your listing right for the PPC ad to work. Most of the time when we have one-on-ones with people, the first thing we do is not work on their PPC, even though that's what they want to work on. We go work on the listing to get it right so it actually works with pay-per-click ads on Amazon. Campaign, there's several things that you need to do at the very beginning. And the first thing after you've built a listing that's extremely optimized and excellent is you need to build a list of keywords. And those keywords really come, there's 3 ways to find the best keywords for PPC ad campaign. First of all, you're gonna look for broad keywords. And I still love merchant words for this. Even though I think the numbers are a little bloated, I do, and by the way, guys, the owner's an awesome guy. And this isn't a criticism to him at all. If I tell you something about a tool I don't like, it's nothing, it's not personal, it's just business, you know? And I'm just gonna be real with you guys. So I think the numbers are bloated. I think they're exaggerated. But what I do like about it is it does give you a reference point and it gives you ideas. So if you're selling a particular product, and let's say it's a game controller, okay? And you might have not thought of a particular long tail keyword that would be relevant to this. When you go to merchant words, you can find a keyword that you didn't think of before, and you know people are searching this at some level. Even if it's not on Amazon, if they're searching it on Google, there's relevance if it describes your product well. So I would still go for a broad, big, wide search, use merchant words. And by the way, guys, for all Just One Dime members, and just so you know, I'm not an affiliate with them, so I don't get paid for this. But if you're Just One Dime member, you get a greatly reduced rate if you want the paid version of merchant words. So if you're looking for really good ideas and you want to go broad, I would start with merchant words. Think wide, cast your seed really wide, use a wide net to get fish. Then later we're going to target in. The second place I would go is Jod Toolbox. It's also, you can get there if you just go to toolbox.justonedime.com. Jod Toolbox will give you what's called keyword autocomplete. So right now I'm here on Amazon and I'm going to go there and I'm going to go to amazon.com. Check this out. I know you guys can't see, but I can tell you what I'm doing. And I'm going to start searching. Here we go. I'm going to start searching T-Mug. And when I searched T-Mug, here's what came up, guys. T-Mug without hitting enter, tea mug with infuser and lid. Now, what does that tell me? That means there are shoppers searching tea mug with infuser and lid. Okay, it also, below that came up tea mug with lid. I'm gonna show you guys, look. See right there? I don't know if you guys can see that or not. See right there, where is it? Sorry guys, right there. Those are autocomplete. All those that list of words, those are autocomplete words. They just pop up, okay? I also see tea mug with infuser. I see tea mugs for mom. I love it. So what's happening is it's telling me what shoppers are searching for. So if I go to merchant words, I'm gonna go broad and get more ideas. If I go to Amazon.com to start typing in my main keyword, like game controller, let me try that one real quick. This would be fun. Game controller. Now it says game controller for, so sad to say this, PC, not a Mac. I shouldn't say Mac. Why? Why are PCs better for games? I am very little of a gamer myself, but it says game controller for PC, game controller for, why are all these hearts after I said PC? What is wrong with you guys? Stop the hearts, stop the hearts. If I say Mac, there should be a flood of hearts. And then when I say PC, there should be no hearts. But when I type in game controller, it's also giving me all these other suggestions, like game controller for iPhone, game controller for Android. Hey, it actually is here. The last one says game controller for Mac. There you go. So if I go to toolbox.justonedime.com and I go to the keyword section, it's gonna give me that. It's gonna show me the autocomplete. It's even gonna rank them so I know what are the highest ranked, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then the lowest ranked, okay? I'm seeing hearts come in again. I'm wondering if it's because I said Mac. I love you guys if that's why you did it. I see another heart. This is too funny. So those are, the first place I would go is merchant words, broad, okay, ideas. Then go to Jod Toolbox, keyword autocomplete to find out what people are actually searching and get ranking. That's more targeted, that's more specific. And then last, and this is awesome, and you'd think this would just be common sense, but you know, I wish I could say this is my idea. Saad, one of our coaches, he shared this with me. I'm like, man, why didn't I think of this? It's so good. Go look at your competitors' titles. Look at the keywords in the title. Because when you find the keywords in the title and those competitors are selling well, you know that keyword has power. They're making a lot of money. They're using the keyword, put 2 and 2 together. You should be stealing them from your competitors. So again, you got merchant words for broad ideas. You got Jod Toolbox, toolbox.justondime.com for autocomplete, real targeted. And then over here, you have keywords in the title of your competitor's listing. Now here's what I love about this, you guys. When you combine those three, you have a powerhouse of keywords to build your listing with. And once you've pulled those all together, you're gonna divide your keywords into 3 categories. You're gonna go from high relevance, put those over here. Then you're gonna have medium relevance, put those over here. And then low relevance, put those over here. Now, how do you know the difference between high, medium, and low relevance? It's really simple. How relevant is it to the listing I'm selling? And a way you can test that is if I just go to Amazon.com and I type in game controller for Mac. And I notice that on the first page, if over 80% of the results are actually the product I want to sell, then I know its relevance is high. In other words, I'm letting the customer tell me if it's relevant. I'm not deciding that. I'm letting them tell me. Since they're the one paying the money, since they're the one deciding if they want to get the product, I need to be going to them for that feedback, right? So that's one way you can check out the relevance. Another one is just simply ask yourself this question. If one of my friends goes to Amazon.com and searches this term and my product shows up, does my product meet their need? In other words, if you're selling, a coffee mug, but the keyword you're trying to rank for is coffee, if I search coffee, does that mean, and your product comes up, does that mean it meets my need? And by the way, this is tea, it's not coffee. Maybe not. Maybe it doesn't, because maybe I'm looking for coffee grounds or coffee beans or a coffee maker or coffee espresso or coffee book or coffee coaster. You see what I mean? Or coffee clothing, if there's such a thing. I may not be looking for coffee mug. So that would actually be a low relevant keyword, okay? High relevant would be if I'm selling a coffee mug, a brown coffee mug, and you type in brown coffee mug, okay, that's obviously highly relevant. And if over 80% of the search results on that first page are brown coffee mugs, then I know for sure this is a highly relevant keyword. Okay, so once you do that, you have these three groups. You get your highly relevant, you get your medium relevant, and you get your low relevant. And by the way, how do I know something has low relevance? If I type in coffee mug, brown coffee mug, and on that first page of search results, under 50% of them are not the product I'm selling, then I know it's low relevance. So if it's 80% or higher, it's high relevance. If it's between 80 and 50%, it's medium relevance. And if it's 50% lower, it's low relevance. Now that I have these three different groups of keywords, I know exactly what I need to do. I'm going to build my ad campaign based on these three levels of keywords. And if I just take the highly relevant ones, and I'm going to take those first, and I'm going to put those, make sure those are in both the title and the bullet points. And I'm going to put those into my PPC ad campaign. And the medium relevant words, I'm going to put those into the product description of the listing. And I'm also going to put those in my PPC ad campaign. But the low relevant keywords, they're not going in my PPC ad campaign. Let me give you an example of one. How about a misspell? That would be a low relevant keyword. How about a really broad one? We talked about coffee. Okay, that's kind of relevant if it's a coffee mug that you're selling, but it's not highly relevant or medium because it could be coffee anything. It could be coffee 100 different things other than a coffee mug. Therefore, it's low relevant. Therefore, it's going to go on the back end of my listing. And when you have a keyword on the back end of your listing, you're still going to rank for that word, but you're not spending money to rank for that word. I'm going to take the high relevant and the medium relevant. Those are going to go into the PPC ad campaign, but the low relevant will go on the back end. That way I'm still ranking for relevant keywords, but the ones I'm going to spend money on are more relevant, okay? When you build your PPC ad campaign, you guys, make sure that you're putting in the medium and high relevant keywords only. In other words, you don't want to spend money on a keyword that someone clicks on, which means you spend money on it now because they clicked on it, and they get to your listing, and because their chance of that keyword being relevant to your listing, the chance of your listing fulfilling their need was below 50%. You pay for that, but you don't make money for that. But what about the people who they type in coffee and they're looking for a coffee mug? Then yeah, you do want to rank for that. You do want to get those sales. So that's why you put that one on the back end. And don't forget, you guys, on the back end, you can only do a combined total of 250 characters. So keep that in mind. So you're going to put in just a few words and there's no reason to repeat. You never need to repeat a keyword. If it's in your title, you don't need it in your bullet point. If you need to say it because it would not make sense, I get it, and that's fine. But don't try to repeat them. It won't do anything for you. Okay? Make sure you don't. And I don't recommend putting brand names in the back end anymore, and here's why. Amazon's suppressing listings for doing this. So just don't do it. It's not worth the risk, you guys. When it comes to PPC, really, really be a white hat hacker. Don't be a gray or a black hat hacker because Amazon's really strict on this. They literally have a team. They're like the suppression team, and they will suppress your listing if you don't follow those rules very carefully.